this broke just yesterday. Matt Gaetz will not be part of the administration. Here is his tweet. I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it was clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. I remain fully committed to see that Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. I will forever be honored that President Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain he will save America. So I just want to float out an idea that I put up on Twitter immediately after this and get your take on this. Maybe you guys agree, maybe not. But I think this is kind of ballpark right about this thing. This is what I wrote. Maybe I'm off on this, but the Gaetz thing seems like this. Gaetz was being investigated, which by stepping down from Congress closes the investigation. Now he steps down before the Department of Justice confirmation hearing, which doesn't dredge up all that stuff. He isn't in Congress anymore, but investigation is now closed and he moves to the private sector. Trump did a solid for someone who has always fought for him, and now the media has to move on to freaking out about someone else, probably Pete Hegseth, since they can't go for Gaetz anymore, but they look more ridiculous going after Hegseth than Gaetz. So win for everyone on Trump's side. What do you think? Isabel, I know it's like a little insider baseball stuff, but that roughly feels right. By stepping down from Congress, the investigation about whatever Gaetz did or didn't do disappears. It doesn't get dredged up again in the Senate hearing. He now is sort of a free man who can go do whatever he wants. Some people say maybe DeSantis will choose him to be replace Rubio in the Senate. But the point is, Trump is doing a favor for him in a way. And they all knew this was going to happen, right? Didn't they know that there was going to be like a crazy firestorm around him?
Well, one would imagine. I think insider baseball is a perfect analogy to what happens in Washington, but particularly on the Hill. If you've ever spent time working in Congress or being adjacent to the United States Congress at all, it's a whole lot of insider conversations that determine seniority, who gets picked for what legislation gets passed. And so I'm sure there's a whole lot more under the surface that the average American, and frankly, even the media, just has no idea about when it comes to this particular conversation. I won't pretend to know literally much about the behind the scenes details of this investigation. We know very little from what the media has told us, and now it's been closed. So I think it would be prudent for us not to guess what's really happening behind the scenes. But if I know anything about Donald Trump, the man is the master of the art of the deal. So clearly there was something behind the reasoning to nominate Matt Gaetz in the first place, for him no longer to seek that position. Now, a lot of people are theorizing that maybe it's just an opportunity for Trump to see who his friends are in Congress going into the approval process of all of these nominees and who's willing to immediately stab him in the back. Interesting thought, especially as we think ahead to the next primary election for members of the U.S. Senate and Congress. But there's definitely more to the story here we're not getting.